friend. Welcome to the Fruitful Fertility Podcast. Do you want to better understand your body so you can get pregnant naturally? Do you find yourself up late at night Googling how to ovulate on your own or natural fertility tips? Do you feel lost on what your next step should be? Hey, I'm Tori, a registered nurse, Christian fertility coach, and your new TTC BFF. When I started my fertility practice, I realized how much the modern medical system was missing when it came to supporting women trying to get pregnant. I knew God had called me to this space to bridge that gap and provide more natural fertility support and education. With time and a little trial and error, I found a foundational way to assess infertility cases and get better results. In this podcast, you will finally understand how your body and fertility work, support to stay off that emotional roller coaster, and a proven strategy to improve ovulation and increase your fertility naturally. If you're ready to get started, drop those ovulation sticks and grab a pen because, girl, you look fertile to me. So for the last few days, I have been searching in the free Facebook community, our free Facebook community with Fruitful Fertility Co., but also a few other Facebook groups I'm in that are fertility related, and really just searching through the questions and the posts to see like common themes, common questions that you guys have. And what it made me realize is that we're getting stuck on a few things, and we're getting stuck on those things, and they are keeping you stuck. So I wanted to talk about 5 fertility blocks that I see the most and how you can overcome them. We're going to dive into that today, but first I want to remind you about the new membership we are launching on March 27th. It's going to be called the Conception Connection. And I cannot talk about it without smiling and giggling because I am truly, truly so excited about it. It's going to be a step-by-step plan to improve your fertility, balance your hormones, regulate your cycles, all those things you've been searching for. It's going to be a community of women to team up with you, walk with you, help you not feel so alone, not to feel lonely, and Q&A calls with me. So you actually get to talk to me every single month, live, in person, on Zoom, face-to-face. Get your questions answered in real time. It's going to be so special. Founding members are going to get a very special discount, so get on the wait list. You can use the link in the show notes to do that. I will send you the code, and that code is good not just for the first month, not just for the first 3 months, but as long as you are in the membership, you get to keep that discount. So again, that link is in the show notes. Just hop on the wait list. I'll shoot you an email and give you that code and a little more information and keep you up to date on all the launch details. And honestly, this membership is so timely for this podcast episode specifically because these 5 fertility mistakes or hangups that we're having can be remedied by joining this membership. So I think it's like perfectly timing that this was what my eyes were open to, what was placed on my heart. Sometimes when I plan podcast content, it's like very strategic and search engine optimization based. And more often than not, it's really just like whatever's on my heart, whatever I felt led to, whatever's been on my mind that week. And so I just thought this was very timely and very poetically put together. So let's jump into these. These are the 5 most common fertility blocks I see and how you can overcome them. Okay. Number one, like of all the things I see is obsessing over your chart. So you are cycle charting, right? This is something I actually teach. I don't think that cycle charting is a bad thing. I love the Anito. I typically recommend it for anyone that wants more data to confirm you're ovulating. You can look at your hormone levels. I love this because you don't have to go to the doctor to get your blood checked all the time. It's cost effective. When you consider going to the doctor and having your blood drawn, you can get real-time results. You can compare your results month to month. But at the same time, I see some people who don't do well with this much information, or people that obsess over the information. So you're looking at your chart, you're dissecting every little thing, your temperature, how high your estrogen got, what your LH did, if your progesterone's high enough, why your body temperature didn't also, elevate at the time you thought it should when you thought you were ovulating. And again, these are not bad things to be looking at. Like you are your own fertility detective and you're just trying to figure out what's going on. But I tend to see that we obsess so much over the charts that we're creating this extra stress in our life, which is the bigger problem. I would rather you not chart at all and take that stress out of your life than chart every single detail of your cycle. Generally, what I suggest for people, if you are like brand new to cycle charting and you really don't even know when your fertile window is, to do it for about 3 months. Any method that you choose, whether that be a needle or temp drop or paper charting or anything like that, but tracking it, not letting an app tell you when it's happening, but you're actually tracking the details. Do that for, 2 to 3 months and get some really good information, and then take a break. Take a whole 3 months off from tracking anything. Take it off your plate, because what happens when we obsess, again, we're creating extra stress that we don't need every single day. Every single day you're creating stress and this fight or flight sensation within your body because you're analyzing what your app, what your needle monitor, what your cycle's doing. But also, we're not actually taking action. We're obsessing so much over our chart that we're not focusing on the things that could fix our cycles if our chart has irregularities in it. We don't take action because we're obsessing. So I want you to kind of analyze your cycle charting situation. Are you okay with cycle charting? Is it creating a lot of stress in your life? Do you have no idea what you're doing? Do you have too much idea what you're doing? Here's one thing. If you were doing this thing that I'm about to mention, I want you to stop immediately. And that is using more than one tracker or one app or one thing. I see in groups where women are using the Anito and the Pre-Mom app and like an app on their phone and something else, like way too many things. And then you're comparing them, and then you're spending time trying to decide why they don't match up or if they do match up. And that's even more stress. So please, 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 please do not use more than one cycle tracking app or tool or method. Just use one. Make your life so much simple. Cut that stress out of your life. If you have listened to this podcast at all, you have heard me say that a lot of unexplained infertility and the issues we're dealing with, if we look at the absolute root cause, it is a dysregulated nervous system. Our body is scared and it does not feel safe, and it's because we are continuing to give it input that is stressing it out. Sometimes that's emotional, sometimes that can be toxins, sometimes that can be not eating, it can be work, it can be so many things. And so I don't want you to be fearful of that. I just want you to cut out any that you can. Like any unnecessary fluff, just cut it out. If you've been tracking your cycles for a long time, you likely know when your fertile window is. You're noticing the changes in your cervical mucus. Maybe you have ovulation pain. If you've been doing it for more than 3 or 4 months, it is time to take a break. You have my permission to take a break, put it down. You do not need it every single month. Okay? I know it's hard not to obsess over those numbers because you really want to get pregnant, but I'm actually telling you that if you'll put it down, it will help your fertility and help you get pregnant. So take a break. Do not use more than one method. Do 3 months on, 3 months off if you'd like to compare, okay? That is culprit number one, absolutely. Like, if you hear nothing else from this podcast, please focus on that one. Okay. Number 2 is trusting your gut. Very often I hear clients or I see posts where you guys use language like, it doesn't quite feel right, but my doctor said, I don't really want to do IVF, but my doctor said that's all I can do. Or I really wanted to do this, but my friend told me that I shouldn't. Like you're getting information from all the places. And sometimes we take in too much information from too many places. And again, goes back to nervous system regulation. And so maybe you need to create healthy boundaries around that, like where you take your information from. You can very politely say to people something to the effect of like, I'm trying to keep it light and keep all my information from one trusted source. So, let's not talk about that. Or I'm trying not to be fearful, because a lot of times the information people give you is very fear-led. And they don't do that purposely, but we don't need that in our life, right? We need positivity, encouragement. And so you can even very kindly say like, I really only need encouraging thoughts at this time. I don't need any more tips or information. Something, you could wordsmith that a little bit better, but creating those healthy boundaries and really going back to trusting your gut, like trusting that you have good instincts, that you know your body better than anyone else. So yes, we do want to take advice from like trained professionals and books and trusted resources, but at the end of the day, your gut matters a lot. And I even like to say, like, what if that's God whispering something to you? What if that is God whispering in your ear and you're ignoring it because of other people's fears or other people's experiences? So I want you to trust your gut more. And trust that if your doctor suggests something that you are not comfortable with, that's not your only option. That is not something you have to do. That is their professional opinion. Number 3 is the one that I am most guilty of myself, and that's trying to do too much at one time. So typically we're trying to achieve any goal. This goes for anything, but if fertility especially, you want this really bad. You want to get pregnant really bad. So you are on the internet, on TikTok, on ChatGPT, on Google, getting all the information from all the places and all your friends, all the outside resources, right? So you are like, okay, I heard acupuncture is good. I heard going to the gym and lifting weights is good. I heard a Mediterranean diet's good. And you're doing all these things as fast and as quick and as much as you can because you're thinking it's going to get you closer to your goal. Now, while this is not like these habits that you're trying to start and include in your routine are not inherently bad, trying to do too much at one time is overwhelming. And then you're not going to stick to it. So you're going to shame yourself. And guess what that means? We're right back to a dysregulated nervous system. We're putting too much stress on our body physically and emotionally. And we're actually counterproductive because now we're doing too much. Our body's burning out. We're burning through our minerals. Our body does not feel safe. And so we're in the same place we started. So as you're taking in information and working on things, I would challenge you to only do one thing at a time. One new habit per month. If you want to start doing acupuncture this month, great, go for it. But don't add anything else to your plate this month. Give your time and energy to that one thing you're focusing on. This is another reason why in the membership, you're going to have content drip to you week by week because I want to only give you a little piece at a time. And so basically what will happen is each month you'll have access to one module, the release module, what you need to let go of, the restore module, what minerals and how you can build your plate and add nourishment back into your fertility routine. All that is going to be dripped to you piece by piece because used to you got access to everything in one sitting and people would just consume it in 2 days and try to do everything in one sitting. And I don't believe that that's beneficial. I think we need to habit stack. We need to get a handle of one habit and then start on the next so that we don't overwhelm ourselves. We actually stay consistent and we actually improve our fertility. So don't go ham and try to pull 20 new habits, 20 new supplements, 20 new appointments. Just start with one per month, one focus per month. And once you've mastered it, you can move on to the next thing if you like. If you haven't mastered it, take a little more time. It's okay. I know you want to get pregnant right now. I really do. But I promise you, if you will take the slow and steady and root cause approach, you will see improvement in your fertility. You'll notice that in your cycles. You'll notice that in your skin, in your energy levels, in your sleep. And that actually brings me to number 4, which is not celebrating the small wins. We have these clues that are dropped to us physically that we don't celebrate because if we're not pregnant, we're like, oh, that didn't work. But actually, all of a sudden, your period went from 26 days to 28 days, not period, sorry. Your cycle went from 26 days to 28 days. So you lengthened your luteal phase, you lengthened your cycle. That's amazing. That's a huge win. Maybe you're sleeping 7 to 9 hours instead of 4 to 6. That's a huge win. And those are all signs that you are on the right track, that what you are doing is working, it's making a difference, and you are another step closer to having a healthy pregnancy. So please, pat yourself on the back for the hard work that you do. This is hard work. Trying to understand what the heck is going on, especially when you're not getting answers from your doctor and you don't know what to do, is really hard and overwhelming. Which is why I'm so glad you're listening to this podcast. I'm hoping that that's exactly what this podcast provides for you, is very small, tangible steps to take. But reward yourself, pat yourself on the back, celebrate those small wins, because that also subconsciously tells your body, I'm safe, I'm feeling good. It's okay to prioritize pregnancy. It's okay to prioritize ovulation. So celebrate that, because it's good just to celebrate your hard work, but it's also actually physically good for your fertility. So celebrate those small wins. The last one I see most often is doing it all alone. This is incredibly personal. You may hate this, or you may actually hear me. I don't know. Lean in. I'm going to challenge you to lean in anyways. I know your fertility journey feels very personal, intimate, and it is. And I'm not saying that you got to make a Facebook post and tell the whole world about your struggles. But what I want you to do is not isolate yourself. That's where the devil gets to us. That's where the devil can whisper in our ear, you're not good enough. It's never going to happen. You create more stress. You feel alone. You pull away from your spouse, who is the one that you want to build this family with in the first place. So do not sit in this alone. I also noticed that in a lot of these Facebook groups, almost everybody posts anonymously, which I get, I understand, but I'm going to encourage you to not post anonymously, to show your face and your name, because then people can check in on you like, oh, I know that Lindsay posted that. She was struggling last week. I want to pray for Lindsay specifically, or I'm going to check in on Lindsay. Let people in to your story. Let them encourage you. Let them pray over you. The Bible has so many examples of this. One is Hebrews 10:24 and 25. It actually reads, I'm looking it up in my actual physical Bible right now. Let us think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works. And let us not neglect our meeting together as some people do, but encourage one another, especially now that the day of his return is drawing near. We need to meet together. We need to fellowship together. You don't need to be at home alone. You need a place you can cry. You need a place where you can find answers and support. And you also need to be that for someone else. 1 Corinthians 12, verses 12 through 27 is that chapter about the body of Christ. You know, that some are the hand, some are the foot. We all have different talents. We all have different gifts, and it all works together really well. So in this community, in the membership that we're building, someone needs you. Are you great at prayer? Are you great at encouragement? Are you great at researching and finding resources? Maybe you're like have an admin brain, and you could like administrative brain, where you can organize and break stuff down to make it easier for other people to understand. What are your gifts? I want you to think of it that way. Like, not only do you need this community for yourself, but you can also be a blessing to someone else. Galatians 6:2 says, share each other's burdens, and in this way obey the law of Christ. We want to share our burdens with others so it's not so heavy. God actually calls us to cast our cares upon him. So don't forget to hand them to him, but he wants you to be surrounded by other Christ followers that can help you as well. I think one thing that is almost always brings me to tears is when people actually put their hands on me and pray for me. So while we will not be able to do this physically, right? This will be a virtual community, but you don't know that there's not someone in this community that lives near you that you can meet up with for coffee, that you could place your hand on each other's shoulder and pray over. But we can do this virtually as well, to call you by name, to see you. I don't want you to feel overseen and overlooked like you might have experienced in your doctor's office. So that's why I don't want you to do this alone. I have a group Voxer with my friends. Voxer is like an app. I call it a walkie-talkie. And I've got Voxer with two of my best friends. And anytime I'm having a bad day, or maybe I have an idea, or I want to talk about something, I go in that Voxer and I drop them what I'm thinking, or maybe doubts I'm having, or why I'm having a bad day. And they lift me up every single time and speak truth over me. So when I'm letting my doubts and fears and limiting beliefs get in my head, they're the ones that pull me out. And if I didn't have that, I would just sit at home and spiral. So I get that with your friends and your community, and maybe the people at church, maybe the people that are around you location-wise are, maybe they're getting pregnant, maybe they're having baby showers, and you're like, well, I can't really share my story with them. They're not in the same place as me. I understand that, and I can understand how that would be really hard. So come to the community so you can do it with women who are in the same phase of life as you, who believe in the same things you believe in, who are going by the same step-by-step plan, week by week, that I'm going to provide you. I think this will do so much for your mental and emotional health, which will, again, help you regulate your nervous system, which is what did we say? The root cause of most of our unexplained infertility issues. I feel like I'm getting really passionate and maybe even long-winded about this, because I truly want you to come join us and be a part of the community, and us link arms and join hands and do this together. Because if you're dealing with any of these hangups we've talked about today, you may need help getting over them, and that is totally fine. That is exactly what I'm here for. That's exactly what the community is going to be for. So let's recap these really quickly, just to keep them fresh in your mind, so you can make a point of what you want to tackle first if you're struggling with any of these. Number 1 is obsessing over your chart. If you are using more than one cycle charting app, you are going to stop that immediately. We're not going to obsess. We're going to take a break if we've been charting for more than 3 to 6 months. Number 2 is not trusting your gut. Trust yourself. It's your body. This is your journey. Yes, we love some trusted help, a step-by-step plan, but this is trust your gut. Trying to do too much at one time. We're going to take habits 1 month at a time and we're going to build on them as to not overload our system emotionally or physically. We're going to start celebrating small wins when we see that our period becomes more regular or less painful, that our acne clears up, that we're sleeping better, that we meal planned a week's worth of high protein meals all week. We're going to celebrate that. And we're not going to do it alone anymore, because doing it alone is probably should have been number 2. Obsessing over your chart's number 1. Doing it alone is probably number 2. But we are going to let people in, let people encourage us, let people pray over us. And if this membership sounds like something that you could benefit from, which hint, hint, wink, wink, you can, I want you to use the link below to enroll in the wait list, because we're launching March 27th and I want to see you in there. I love you so much, friend. I will see you next week. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If this episode touched your heart or taught you something, I'd be honored if you share it with a friend who could use the information too. And if you want to be the real MVP, then would you also take 30 seconds to tap those 5 stars at the bottom and leave a written review telling me what you're loving? It lights me up to know this podcast is really helping you. Don't forget, you're super cute and super fertile, so meet me back here next week and let's keep chatting and learning together.